for me, even coming to the realization that accomplishments in themselves aren't particularly valuable. It's like trying to steer the Titanic.
I don't know that one.
Well, there's this real thing in society that where achievement or the appearance of achievement is worshipped. It's all about action. It's all about act now, consider later. Be manipulated, act accordingly.
Doom, in that sense, would be like, this is what to do to get there.
Yeah, but the getting there has been taken right out of the equation. It's not really about getting anywhere. It's just about doing something. Do it now. It's insane. That's become the answer to all the pressure we feel.
There you go.
So try to act your way out of it.
Think your way out of it.
Yeah. Manipulate your way out of it. Lie your way out of it. Stress your way out of it.
Produce, accomplish, succeed out of it.
Yeah. Plow your way through it.
I think the point there that I hear is right, the pressures of life there, right, through the pressure, the structure we view doesn't allow us to sit still and look at it.
Nikki, careful.
Yeah, careful, Nikki.
Hey, how's it?
Cat just bit her.
No, my leg. I stood up, but accidentally I thought I was on mute. But I when you like have that little, like a little twist, not a twist. It's like it opened, like it unlocked. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
my muscle.
Yeah.
I don't know how that. I
Charlie
can't
horse.
explain it. It's like, oh my God! I just thought now. Oh geez, not again. Because it's like it's very rare when it happens, but when it happens, it can be a good thing or not a good thing. Because, yeah, you know what I mean. So it's a strange thing. It's just what it is. It locks. It locks. You know what I mean by locking? It locks, and then it unlocks, and then you go, what's that? And then it can be a good thing, and it's released, and then otherwise it can get stiff. I don't know how to explain it, but I hope.
It's a Charlie horse.
So I was. What's that?
It's a Charlie horse.
A Charlie horse. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I
When your muscle-
heard of that.
When
What
your
does that
muscle just
mean
tightens
again?
up. Your muscle just tightens.
Oh my
One of your
God!
muscles.
Yeah,
It just goes.
like it goes. Yeah. Oh wow! What's it called again?
A Charlie horse.
Yeah, Charlie horse. Isn't that interesting? Oh, I remember that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, happy Father's Day. Happy
Thank you.
Father's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
We're just starting. It started yesterday, really. So it's good. Celebration dinner with all the fathers and her father. And the in-laws got together.
Hey, Jesse, are your
Morning,
parents
Alex.
in Bakersfield?
No, they're in Montana.
You're still in Montana? Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's get back on it before we forget.
Okay.
So we were talking about the pressure. And we figure somehow that the way out of, or the way through the pressure, is to apply more.
Not
Fight
sit still, not sit in the silence, not allow it, not to observe it, not to see it as a truth or the truth, as options. It's just to respond.
To engage with it.
Mm. It's the structure that we're uncomfortable with the pressure. Allison stepped out. She's fighting her headphones. But she did leave us with ever expanding heart. That's her
Yeah.
word for the day.
Yeah, awesome. You know, the human mind is amazing because it will, or this heavy balance on left brain, everything that we're smack in the middle of as a society right now. It just it's a problem solver, and everything is a problem. You feel pressure, your emotions are a problem. You feel something, and you have to fix it or avoid it or whatever. And even after you've done that, then and your left brain creates a brand new problem to solve. It's like you're always in this never-ending loop.
Mm.
It's like all of society's in that loop, bound in that loop.
Yeah.
Just keeps repeating over and over and over again.
Yeah. you're weird if you're not in the loop. Because it's the expectation. It's, well, you got to look at it this way. And if I were to try something different, of course that wouldn't work.
Yeah, and
I
all the
only
pressure.
know one way.
Yeah, all the pressure is, come on and come back in and engage with this loop,
Mhm.
especially when you've been liberated from the loop somewhat. The pressure to come back in it and engage with it is very intense. Even all the self-help gurus are into that in a big way. Does Tony Robbins need any more money? I just want to know the answer to that question.
What do you mean by that?
Why
Yeah, why?
does the whole self-help industry keep promoting that same deception?
What is that? What is that?
That we need to stay in the loop, that we need to stay in that problem-solving loop. We need to keep fixing a problem that isn't even really a problem.
Interesting.
That we need to stay permanently in pressure.
I just saw a post now that says problems are just problems. God is more powerful than them.
Yeah, but the whole of humanity is kind of sucked into the vortex of that, just perceiving problems and
it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because when you actually really face adversity or trouble or problem, if you want to put it, that's when you can really tap into your potential and really know that you are powerful. And that, to me, I really witnessed that yesterday. I really witnessed it, and it really is overwhelming to think that you can go even in a deep sorrow of sadness, of physical pain, whatever emotional pain you're going through, that you can go into your actual heart and literally go into the imagination of visualizing how you would like it to be. And as you visualize it and go into that emotion of feeling that, literally, okay, and in knowing your reality, that you're going through what you're going through, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. And I'm telling you, it just comes to pass, and then you see your day as you visualized it, and then you manifested it, and then you can say, did I actually do that? And yes, I did it, because it's in the reality. So this is where I think what is really powerful is getting to have that understanding. And because no one can take that away from you. You know what I mean? If you're experiencing it, if you really are experiencing it and going through it, mindfully, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Last night,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. But
what you just described,
I'm just saying,
what you just described, Nikki, is not what's being sold. That's not being sold.
Yeah, I hear that. But I think it's
almost by accident that you happen to find that.
Accident? I don't think so. I think
no. But listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I said it's almost as if it's by accident that you actually find that and see through the lie, see through the deception.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everybody's
Literally.
peddling a
Literally.
deception,
Absolutely.
including people
No
like Tony
question.
Robbins, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 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 And it's, this whole marketing and everything else comes with manipulation and how to control the energy of others and how to tap in, because it's just, mm, for what it's worth, and it is what it is. But this is where I feel that, really honestly, with all the material things that people have or whatever, you see them, and we hear it always, that they're not as what they project. It's not living the life that they really love. They can be a guru or whatever you want to call them, but behind the scenes, they have just the same problems, the same things that we're all going through. So we're not separated. We're all going through something. I mean, we're all going through it, but it's that really coming down to this moment of saying, wow, how much, of gratitude can you give to yourself today? And really, that's what it is. It's like, how much gratitude can I give? And, till you open up that mind's eye of real awareness of what you really have, like yesterday, don't take anything for granted. But when something does happen to your body, it does, like, whoa, what's going to happen now? I'm not going to be able to do A, B, and C. And I promise you, this is what really brings it all together for you, to know that you have so much potential, power, vision, greatness. It's great. It's just what it is. It's amazing. So even when you look at somebody that you think that has so much more than you, it's not, they don't, because you can't have enough. You can never have enough. So that's why it's for you, in your own perception, to say, I am enough, I have enough, because this is what it is to be able to be here in having a living human experience. Because when you're one with God, it doesn't matter who and what says. That's it. And then you're going to also deal with all the other things that comes with that, the jealousy, the people that don't like you, the people that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's where you got to come into that perception and say, that's your point of view. That's you, not me. Because it's not easy being a human, hey? There's no question about it, hey? It's not easy. Definitely not easy. But I find out that this morning, yeah, this is really, wow. It's a very big wow.
At this particular time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is because it's not easy.
Oh my God. And to have the right
support. It was a challenge.
And yeah, right. It's, oh my goodness. Yeah.
In fact, it might be the greatest challenge for any particular soul at this point in the cosmos, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why, to have this understanding,
that's why so many of us who are souls
I just want to say
that know how to navigate this are showing up now.
Yes, Craig, and to have that human connection with the right human connection. Yeah, that's the one.
I want to put a little attention on a couple of things you said, Nikki. I think they were great to be amplified with. And in the problem solving, it's very difficult to be grateful for yourself, to honor your genius in a problem. Because it's so many different ways in it, but it's hard to be appreciative of the problem. And so if we always see everything as a problem, there's no space for gratitude. for appreciation, for curiosity. And you said, it's like, and you said, it's like, I created yesterday and it unfolded just, it was just beautiful how it unfolded, how I created it. And it's that little, that little minute stuff of creating just the day, the way to go, the way we want it, to imagine it, to be curious about it, to just create the moments and appreciate what shows up. That's living life. It's not
100%.
living life fighting the problems or solving them as they like, oh, there's a problem. Oh, there's a problem. Oh, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a problem.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because those
Killing
problems
all the
just
fires.
keep, they
Yeah.
just keep rolling.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's
Yeah.
rather than looking
Yeah.
at them as the problem, you look at it as like, oh, here's the possibility, here's the potential, here's what I
That's
want.
right. That's
Here's
it.
what I want.
That's it. Oh my God.
And you
it's
said,
so powerful.
and you said it took a practice. It took a practice. Yes.
It took a practice. Oh my God. That's right. Practice.
And it's not the
Practice,
practice all the gurus are talking about. It's not following
Exactly.
their stupid system.
Amen. Let's go, Jesse.
It's not forking
Amen.
out their money for what they have. And that's why they're
Come
not
on
going to
now.
change anything, is because they're making all their money.
Amen. That's right. Yeah.
And from
Yeah,
their
But what
point
is
of
the
view,
structure?
it works.
The structure is it's
Yep.
so good, Jesse. The structure, the new structure. This is what the new structure is coming to pass. It's coming. And so this is going to be a revolutionary awakening for all of us. And whoever is awake, that's great. And whoever isn't, that's what it is, because not everybody's going to come on board. And this is life. Not everybody's going to come in agreement. Not everybody's going to understand. Not everybody as much as you would love them to know. But it's for you. I started to acknowledge that my vibration is so powerful now that I know that I have to be anchored. I have to be grounded in what I am really choosing here, because now I actually understand. And so this is where you can either share it with others or be very selective, because it can also put you down. It can also put you in a box and shove you away and say, keep quiet. And so I'm here to just say my experience of what I'm experiencing. And that to me is enough, because I can now have the momentum to say, I understand now, because it's just beautiful. It's just really, really beautiful. And no money in the world can give you this. Yeah. No other love can give you this. When you really embody the absolute power of love in knowing that you have what you need, is beautiful, because basically all our human needs is what we need, what we want. And most people want because only when they want, then they'll be happy. But that's not about happy. Happy is a choice. It's a happy. And gratitude is something that I actually, I came to understand that even in my heart sore, like when I'm heart sore, heartbroken, like, hurting, it isn't easy, but I can guarantee you, now I can put my absolute money to the bank that if you come and you just be grateful, it will open things up for you. Wow. The sunset will look different. The sunrise will look different. The trees will look different. The water will look different. People will look different. Your food will look different. You will look different. And that's when I say, bring it on now. Bring it on, because I'm not here to explain it. I'm here to be it. And that's all that is. The explaining is over now. I'm honestly going to tell you, There's no more explaining, because I've experienced it. Till you experience it for yourself, that's what it is. That's what I can really enjoy now. I can really say I enjoy. No matter what the circumstances is, I can enjoy now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Becomes a habit.
Yeah, totally. Like totally. Like, you remember when I shared with you a couple of months ago, like things come automatically. It's not automatically. It was a practice that I practiced it. You know, I've been practicing this for years. You know, I don't just wake up and go into a cold shower thinking that's great. You know, I do it because I know the benefits of it. Yeah. And then I also know my morning routine, how I start my day, how I want to start my day, how I want to finish my day. What's my purpose, what I'm going to apply, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to add on, you know, my responsibility. All of these things don't just come on your lap there. You got to put it out there and put the effort. And then you've got others on the sideline looking at you and go, oh, yeah, she's got it so easy, blah, blah, blah. But hello, come live in my shoes. Come live in my shoes for the last couple of years and tell me what you think. Yeah. So these people, you will always have some sort of backlash or somebody not supporting that. And that you got to accept. You just got to accept it. But the people that do support you, I have only respect for. Because people are going to judge you no matter what, Jesse. They judge you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you do or what you can give. They will find something on you. And that, to me, I go, no. I put my hand up and I say, no more. I actually say no more today. No more. You're going to come and you know, judge and carry and have this whole you know, mindset of that. I said, no, I see already enough. I see enough. I don't even tolerate it anymore. I just put my hands up and say no more. This is where I draw the line. I say no more. And this is the breakthrough that I feel in my heart, that I can actually let go of my own judgment. Because I was the worst critic. I was the harshest, because I always thought I had to be a certain way to be accepted by others, because I'm too this and I'm too that, and then I'm too loud and then I'm too soft, then I'm too this and I'm too that, and I go this and I that, and I go, I can use a very strong word now, but I won't. But I go, you know what? The people that are going to be in my life, especially men in my life, will have to be able to accept me, not control me, not dominate me, not putting out there and saying, you got to be a certain way. No. I come beside you. I am beside my friend. I am beside my sisters. I'm beside my friend in every possible way. I don't walk behind you and I won't walk in front of you. I walk beside you, hand by hand. And whoever wants to join me, fine. But whoever doesn't want to, I will let go of that hand. That's as simple as that is. And not as simple, because it's very hard letting go of people that you really love. I mean, love for a very long time. But there comes a time, you've got to love yourself enough to let go of the hand and say, I love you enough to love me. Because finally, that has been a huge shift. And I can only speak from that shift, from that experience now. And now I understand through the years how it came to this, because I had to experience it. I have to experience it to have understanding of what others are experiencing. Because how can I know if I don't know what it feels like?
That's right.
See, I know how it feels to be judged and rejected. Yeah, I know how it feels. So this is where I have compassion. There's no more judgment. Honestly, I'm so grateful that I can honestly say there's compassion, no judgment. And I'm very, very alert when that comes, because we are judging constantly, judging the weather, even. We're judging everything. And then we want to know why we judged, why we get judged, because we're judging. So there you go. So yeah, that's my piece for the day, because it's made me very whole. I was whole, but now I am I am whole. And it's not about cocky or self, confident or whatever. But you know what? It's a great gift that you can give to others now, that they are whole. They are whole.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
and we judge so focusing on the little things we want,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
and then we put a time frame on when we want to see it. And then if it doesn't show up in that time frame, especially when we're practicing early on, we say, oh, this isn't working.
Yeah, we call that failure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And so it's
Exactly.
like that doesn't, so Jess, that doesn't work. And it's like, no, say it just doesn't want to go the way you want it to go.
Amen. There's it.
It
There's
will
it.
work
There's
out. You're planting that seed. We talked about we're planting that seed, but then I'm putting expectations on how I want it to show up. When all that is
Exactly.
it could show up that one exact way you're wanting it to.
There's
Out of
it.
all the
There's it.
possibilities, it could show up that
There.
one way.
Oh, drop the mic. That's
And
it.
it's, as you said, Nikki,
That's
it's so
it.
much
Beautiful.
easier as we go through the day to say, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Oh, there, it's
Oh.
so much easier to
Mm.
do that.
Yeah. Right. So good.
And so as I speak that, I just acknowledge like that, we can call that controlling creation rather than allowing creation. As I'm, whatever, 2 days, 3 days ago, it was like I was extremely grateful for repair. Extremely. It's been amazing, that word. And yet I can be like, well, it's not good enough. I want this now. I want to go here with it next, right? Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I start to put my expectations around it, and limit, then I'm just limiting all the things that could come from that. And it's easy to get frustrated because it didn't show up that way in that exact moment, the one way I wanted it to. And if I wasn't practiced where I was with the experiences I have to understand how creation works, I would slip right back to my problem-solving way that I thought would work, but it was just different. And so I'd give up on something new. And after 4 years, I don't.
The learning that is. Huh?
3 years or whatever, however long. I think it's only been 3 years. I'm coming up on 3 years, so only 3 years.
That's a miracle too. It only took 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking about earlier on the call about my life experience being a lot more valuable in the past 5 years than the whole rest of it put together.
Yeah, for sure.
But the so-called evidence of that is not tangible.
That's right.
The evidence is not tangible. And that's because it's based on faith, which is completely unseen.
Mhm.
But that's the thing, I think, with preparation of the word that Jesse explained about preparation. It's preparing you from the time you came into this world. It was all prepared. It was all directed because your steps are directed by God. It's all by allowing to go through all these things. And then you go, oh, but how come it's just 3 years? It's not been 3 years. It's been your whole life. But it's
Mhm.
now coming into full maturity. Thank you very much. Full
Yes.
maturity in allowing to say, now I can stand and multiply, because that's what it's about.
Yep.
You get to multiply now.
Yep.
You
I
get
can
to add on to
stand.
people's lives now. Yeah.
I can stand in my wholeness. My wholeness.
Amen. Amen and amen. That's it.
I can stand in
And-
one place, look up at heaven,
Yes.
and just keep tearing
Yes.
pieces off the bread and feed 5,000 people.
Oh my God, I love that metaphor. Listen, you're speaking into my heart now, because
Yeah, well,
that
that's all there
metaphor
is.
is
That's
my
all there is
favorite.
to it.
I tell you, my dear, that is it. Because, like I said, with that metaphor this week, I said it to my sisters. We were talking because, we were just talking in general. And I gave her that metaphor because it was so powerful, because she was like, oh, la, la, la. And I said, listen, whatever you give, for whatever you give to the other sibling, God's going to multiply it. You can't be concerned about what's going to happen in the future of this and this and this and this. I said, two fishes and 5 loaves. Yeah. Yeah. When he broke it, he gave thanks. And I think this is what we as understanding in this collective, we got to be thankful. We give thanks. Thank you. Thanks. And when you break it, whatever you bring to the table, you give thanks. And when you give thanks, it multiplies, because it is universal understanding that is what we are here to bring, a new language, a new understanding of what is thank you. Like, I can say thank you for being fathers, you are fathers. That's think about that. Just like, let's pause on that one, okay? Just let's think about that.
What's interesting about that story is the same thing happened a little bit later. And Philip came to him. Philip, one of the disciples, came to him and asked, what should we do? And Jesus turned the question around and said, okay, Philip, what are you going to do? As if
Yeah.
Philip had the capability to do exactly what Jesus did.
Amen. Beautiful. Listen, I love you both so much, and I love to wish Pascal, if he listens to this replay, happy Father's Day, Pascal. And I'm going to get ready for this day now, because I've got to go on the road for 2 hours to go visit my mother-in-law. So I wanted to wish you happy Father's Day. And thank you. Love you both.
Love you, Nikki.
Hey,
Thank
for now.
love you,
you.
Nikki.
Bye.
Have a safe
Love
travels.
you.
Bye bye. Thanks for stopping
Thank
by.
you so much. Thank you. What?
Yeah. Mm.
Mm. There's a scripture that says, by whatever measure you measure, that will be returned back to you.
Hmm. So let me replay that. So measure, we were talking about productivity, right, in terms of age. And so
Yep.
if we measure productivity, then productivity would be what's returned back, which means what we experience, how we structure around it, what we'll experience. So as one example, and then there's outcomes to that, right? And there's consequences, and one of the consequences is as elders move from productive times in their lives, they move into, we call it retirement, and in a way that society just kind of brushes them to the side as irrelevant.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is irrelevant.
Mhm.
This person is irrelevant.
Well, because the productivity is more important than the person. There's the outcome again, yeah. So
In that way, that's a society value.
mhm,
Productivity is more valuable than people.
mhm.
Thank you, Henry Ford.
Mhm, mhm. I don't know why I have to quote, this is what a quote there is attributed to him. I don't know why I have to deal with the whole human when all I want is a good pair of hands.
Right. Yeah.
And so what is it that we would say society measures today? Bank
Well,
accounts.
it's still a good pair of hands.
Yeah, bank accounts, paychecks, rolls, cars, houses, where you live, who you're married to, right? Fame, fortune. I mean,
Materialism.
in all reality, that's what people are paying for these gurus, or just to be around their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, paying to discover what's already inside you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way you could get it for free. There's no way I could find it for free. And part of everything I did had to lead me to here. And
Yeah. Well, because nothing outside you is free.
That's right.
That's where the whole money thing comes in.
Mhm.
But when you realize that you're extremely wealthy internally,
Mhm.
abundance lives inside your heart,
There you go.
then
Mhm.
what difference does it make?
There it is. So it's measuring the abundance inside you.
Yeah, but when you measure it, it's not abundance anymore.
Yeah, true. I think I was using it more as the
But you know what I mean.
in that metaphor. It's a good analogy to think through that way, because it is true.
My real value is my heart and soul.
Mhm.
And realizing that value does not belong to me. I can't own it. When I feel that I own it, I want to exploit it.
Good.
And when I exploit it, I actually kill it.
Mhm. So we can measure abundance by the number of gratitudes that we apply towards it. So if we focused on the measurement of gratitude for it, rather than solving the problems why we don't have it. So, I mean, that's the structure, right? Between problem solving and abundance, which is really what we're talking about. Why I don't have it compared to why I do have it, or what do I have?
What do I have? Yes.
What could I have? So it's focusing on what do I have versus why I don't have it.
That was the question. Before Jesus fed the 5,000 people, his question was, what do you have?
Hmm.
And somebody answered 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns around and he takes it, and his focus is on gratitude. Gratitude for what we have, and it just multiplies.
Yeah.
It magically multiplied.
Mm-hmm.
What they had, what little they had, multiplied.
Mm-hmm.
Focus, gratitude. And focus, I'm not doing this alone. The whole of all that is participating in this operation with me and through me.
And
As
we all experience, like at the end of it, it's like, so there's this, all the experiences that we are fed. We are full. All 5,000, right, are full.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the gratitude happened before rather than after.
Right. There was 12 baskets left over.
Think of that. Like our sense of it is after, we'll be grateful when we get there, right? When we're done, well, then that's when we're grateful. That's when we've succeeded, right?
Part of gratitude is acknowledging what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging the truth of that.
And applying it. And then at the end of it, what we would say is that's the miracle. That's a bad word in itself, because it's something happens out of the impossible.
Right.
Which is what everything is anyway.
Yeah, the implication is that for the people that recorded those events, the implication is that there was way more than we could put into a book.
Yeah. With our life about it.
These were daily occurrences for us.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the implication was.
Yeah.
In fact, I think John says that in one of the last chapters. He says there aren't enough books to contain these unusual experiences we had. One of the biggest travesties that's been perpetrated by the church is that there is part of Jesus that was not human. And it's almost implied like it was that part, the part that's not human, that did all these miracles.
Yeah. Well, and that. So the result of that, how I see it from my perspective, is that we grant power to that, and in a we want to get there but never can get there.
Right, right.
Which just becomes another problem to solve.
Because we're not divine.
Yeah.
So we keep trying to be, even though it's impossible. And it's like,
Which the point of it is we can say, well, he wasn't, it's like he was and they say like it's like he's a human just like us. He experienced life like this just like us, no different. It's what did he do with it that's different than what we did, what we're doing.
right.
And we're tapped into a very small flow of that.
Yeah,
And it takes a practice to continue to grow that flow of it.
if he's different from us, we keep trying to tap to become this divine nature. But if he's not different from us, then we can embody, we have the capacity to embody that divine nature the same way he did.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it
Which-
that I'm coming to believe. It's like,
Which when you think about those two things, it is the same outcome it is the same outcome.
right,
Just you get there two different ways. One way won't work and one way is working.
yeah. One
I
belief
think-
keeps you away from it, and the other one makes it possible.
Yeah, that's the craziness about this. And that's why problem solving structure is so hard to see to get out of it. And when you can pull back, step out and look at it and be like, oh my God, I just keep staying in that loop.
Yeah.
Because that is what everyone tells me you're supposed to do. It's the way it's supposed to be. It just happens to be from different than the child, right? Because now we're the adults, quote unquote adults, that has just shaped all the children into something else. The right way. They shaped it into the right way, right?
Right. Well, until quite recently, and now that whole reflection of the old and putting that into your children, that's starting to fall apart.
Mhm. And they're challenging it, yeah. They're challenging it, and they're saying, well, it's brilliant, it's genius, right? It's the next huge wave that has taken generations to break down.
Yes. Yeah, it's
And
been
of course, with
incremental.
anything, in anything, we're going to fight it. And so, I mean, you think of it, it's Henry Ford's, 3 generations, if not 4 generations, right, of the 1900s, 100 years, 3 generations later, where it says, oh, we're gonna try something different.
Yeah.
We have new tools around this, and we don't have to do that anymore. And the power that's there, the ones that have built the structures that said, no, you have to play inside of these structures because they don't want to let go of them, right? Are saying you can't do that. You're breaking the rule. You're playing outside of it because they're afraid of losing their accomplishments, their power, their money, their situations. Yeah. And they'll adjust and, conform and ebb and flow with it. They're not stupid. But for sure, they're going to hold on to what's got them where they're at as long as they can. That is a guarantee.
Yeah.
I just love Lynn McTaggart's The Bond. That book, I'm still working that book. Wow, what a powerful book that is.
Copy of that.
Huh?
I got to get a copy of that.
Are you familiar with thrift books?
Yes.
Okay. Great resource. I love that, you know, $2 or $3 you can get these good books. Or the library
Well,
too, you know.
I'll give you a better one than that. It's Bookfinder. Bookfinder.com. You can look.
Mhm.
You can look up things according to author and according to title, and it'll find you all the books that are available for sale, new and used. Like I've gotten books for like $1 a piece on there.
Huh? Thank you. Bookfinder, huh? Bookfinder.com.
Finder. Yep.
John said. What I love about the book is the benefits of working as, you know, she's called it like the super organism, right? Working together,
Yes.
gathering the we's and all the studies and demonstrations of that type of possibilities. So
He calls it that. The
Yeah,
superorganism.
yeah.
Yeah. Remember that came up in our discussion how many months ago?
No, that's why, you know, it's the studies that are there, right? And the proof, the science that's behind it, and the actual, and you don't hear about them, right? But the things that communities have come together to do,
Yes.
you know, and you know, how it changes for the better. And in the stories, like so much of it is like, it doesn't take a lot of force. It doesn't take a lot of anything. It says it just takes a couple of people to change it. Boom, boom,
Yep.
boom.
Yep.
It says where one or two gathered in my name, right?
Right. Exactly.
2 or 3 are gathered, however they say it.
No doubt. Every single day we do this, and all 200 some that we've done it already. Every single day, every single iteration of this it changes the whole grid. One of the many reasons why I keep coming back and doing this. In fact, that could well be my highest level of productivity right now. It's changing the whole grid.
Mhm.
Because I actually know I'm doing it.
Mhm. And only later, when all 5,000 are fed, could you say, oh, there's the story. Now we can write about it.
Yeah.
Now we can, like, there's the demonstration, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another one, and then there's another one, and there's another one. And it's just, they keep multiplying, they keep expanding.
Yeah, and I'm finding more and more seeds that I planted decades ago. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing.
You know,
And it was all very providential. Timing of those was impeccable. all planted and Apollos watered, and God gave the increase.
So focusing on the problems. If we're unaware of them, if we're unaware that is our default, which is hard to see ourselves doing it, how would one notice that's what they do?
Hmm.
How did you notice that's what you were doing?
Well, what's interesting was that I was actually hired to solve a problem. The problem was oh wow, I just got an insight around that too. Yeah, I was hired to solve a problem, but I began to solve what was perceived as a problem, but I ended up creating, like planting a seed and creating something. Yeah, just creating something. Because yeah, part of being hired to solve a problem was defining what the problem actually was. And it wasn't. It wasn't a problem. It was something brand new that wanted to emerge. And I was the one that was equipped to bring that in, that new thing, to bring that into 3D reality. To actually address the potential. Potential is intangible. Somehow, even back then, I could see it. I could see it. I could design it. I could conceptualize it. I could dream it. It's R&D at its finest, actually. But thing is they stop spending money on R&D when tangibles don't show up according to a timeline.
Mhm.
You know,
There's the expectation again.
there's an expectation on it. And the thing is, I know now, looking back, that some of these things I created back there took decades to come to fruition, and a lot of them still haven't been realized. A lot of them are still intangible. In fact, the majority of them are still intangible. In fact, it's taken 30 years for me to look back and realize that I invented that, or that I brought it in. And here's another really, really big one, that it was never my invention. It was my role. It was my role to bring it in from intangible form and give it imagination, give it design form. But a lot of those, it wasn't mine to give physical form. So I planted the seed. A lot of other people found the sprout. Took it the rest of the way, or took it part of the way.
Yeah, it's not, we don't do it alone, huh?
No, nothing like that actually happens. Well, none of it happens alone. And and there's nothing that in this life, there's nothing in this 3D that we can legitimately put ownership on. In fact, that includes life.
Mhm.
That's a huge realization for me, is that my life doesn't belong to me. It's my life is a planting as well. Which is why this whole thing about syncing up with cosmic intention is such a big deal for me, because that's an abundant life. I put ownership on my life, when I follow through with the idea that my life is mine and I can do whatever I want with it, then all that magic collapses. Becomes dark, becomes shadow. When I understand that I'm an agent, I'm boots on the ground for the whole cosmos and what the cosmos wants to accomplish. There's that word again. What the cosmos wants to accomplish. And my life takes on higher dimensions. That's my true multi-dimensional nature comes out when life is not mine. And I realize that the desires that are written on my heart are actually a collaboration. They're a co-creation. Between my soul and all that is. The desires of my heart and the desires of God's heart are one and the same. And I'm just here to live those out, to live them through. As me. As an individual form.
Mhm.
And I'm convinced now that the same is true for all of us, for each of us, all of us.
Mhm.
It's not an escape, it's an integration. It's a convergence.
It's that deep yearning, that quiet yearning that keep going here, or keep doing this, or keep after here. And it's not clear what that always is.
No, because it's intangible.
That's right. And it's that it is the source of our problem solving. And it is what we're solving problems for, is that in the background, it's just our orientation to it that we think it's a problem to solve.
Right. Well, and we try to define the map.
Yeah.
Or define the path.
Yeah. And we listen and allow others to help define our path.
Yeah.
We give others the power to our path and say, oh, we don't have the power to it.
They don't know it any better than we do. They don't even know their own.
They're just exactly. And most people are paying them to find it. Which is crazy from my book, but I did it too. So a problem solving that there's something to fix when there's nothing to be fixed.
Or that there's a path to find.
Or there's a path to find. Yeah. That there is a way. there is, right? You go about it either angrily, frustrated, or in gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a deep gratitude for me. Is that I get to co-create the path.
Yeah, that's a huge different way than a problem to solve is I get to create a path.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that magic word again. What could the path be? What could it be?
Right.
Which is counterintuitive to, oh, it has to, like, this is what it has to be. It has to go this way.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to anything. There's no should and there's no have to.
Mhm.
There's no must.
But there's plenty of them that would convince us otherwise.
Oh yeah. There's also no.
Hmm.
There's
Right.
nothing but yes.
I think so. I think the better we can get at saying that, better it'll be. And I find it hard to do it too. There's things I don't want to say yes to. That just means I get to learn the lesson again. Fascinating, the craziness. Craziness of what we want, what we think we need to do to get it, how we go about getting it.
Well, we just insist on walking in darkness. Adding more darkness. Darkness. Creating more darkness. And selling it. Oh my goodness.
Convincing.
Well, it's just because people refuse to examine themselves, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the fear, right? Just fear of being wrong. Fear of making a mistake, the fear of not knowing, right? The fear of uncertainty. which was all just installed by your teacher.
And your parents.
Yeah. Society.
Reinforced by your whole environment.
Yeah.
No wonder conditioning's such a big deal.
Yeah. They don't want you to be power. No, you're powerful. You wouldn't need certain things, right?
Oh, you wouldn't need anything.
Yeah.
If you were power,
Fewer
you wouldn't
structures.
need anything material at all.
Huh. Just the basics.
Yeah. Yeah, and those basics don't exist in the 3D.
What do you mean?
Nothing doesn't exist in the 3D. Everything in this environment is a something. It's in material form. Even a raw material is a material. Tangible.
Measurable. Seen, observed, pointed to. There it is. So it said even like Tony Robbins, right? They're not teaching or showing or demonstrating, right? They're enforcing the problem solving.
Yeah. Yeah, you market a 3-step process, and that's that. Same thing. Like I said before, that's just rearranging the furniture.
But people are still looking for something, right? They still,
Yeah.
like, that's not going to go away. Right?
Yeah.
The gurus would have to be the ones that said, oh, oh, look, this doesn't work.
And all the gurus are saying this is it. This is what you're looking for. It's out here. You know what I mean?
And from their point of view, it is.
Yeah.
So it's a different language to what they have, that they say, oh, yes, that connects to my experience of it. And this is a better way to teach it.
Yep.
This gets better results. That's at the end of the day, that's what they care about.
Yeah, results is the big thing. But then you used another word there that's kind of a key one too, is teach it.
Oh, man,
Okay.
good.
I've been a teacher. I've been a college professor, college instructor, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But in truth, I'm not that. I am an educator. I am one who draws out gifts and genius.
So there's the difference, drawing it out rather than being a show.
Yeah, or trying to put something in.
Yeah.
Our whole education system is about, well, and so is religion. It's about putting information in. Like that's going to make a difference. And quite frankly, the self-help gurus are all basically using that same structure. It's like I have something to teach you. I have something that you can put into your head that will solve your problem or will alleviate the pressure or whatever your pain point happens to be this week. That whole structure is bogus. There's not many people that are talking about from your innermost being will come. That's where abundance lives. It's in your innermost being. So does love and truth, grace, passion, mercy. All of that wealth resides in your innermost being.
And that's the draw out, right?
That's the draw out, exactly.
Yeah. Draw out.
As your innermost being expresses, it draws the same thing. It emanates to start with. It emanates from you. It's magnetic too. It draws people. It draws energy to you. It draws towards you. I mean, that's the law of attraction. It starts from your innermost being. Your electromagnetic heart. It's been there all along. In fact, it was there before you were even conceived.
Oh, fascinating morning, Craig.
So the choice is either you can choose to live in sync with that, or you can continue to fight it like you've been taught.
Mhm. Deal with it as a problem. Something
Yeah.
to fix.
Yep.
And in an orientation, in a unaware, because it's like a pattern, a habit, a default. If we're looking for problems to fix, we are always going to create problems to fix.
See, it's that feeling, you know when you're in that loop, you know that you're out of sync. That's the feeling of out of sync. And so then you try to solve that problem.
Mhm.
It's that what's perceived
Feeling.
as a problem, this feeling of being out of sync.
Yep.
That's
And
kind of a core motivation.
and you might get there, right? Because we're putting some tangible thing as when we have that, when we get it, when we achieve it, then we'll be in sync. It will be happy, we'll be satisfied, we'll be in love, we'll be in whatever.
Yeah, then I will be,
Mhm.
instead of I already am.
Then I already am. See, it's grateful with what we have in the moment and feed the 5,000 rather than being grateful at the end when they're all full.
Yeah. Be it to see it.
You get to see it, and it's so subtle. It's such a subtle difference when we haven't experienced it on the outside looking in, when we have only solved problems, when we've only worked to fix things, when we only know there's one way to do it. It's so hard to see how the other way could work. And it just doesn't seem like it's like that. That's not much of a difference, because we feel like we need such a big difference to make a big change.
Yeah.
We need some big, it's almost like we need some big breakthrough that's going to like rock it. And it'll happen one time.
Yeah.
If I get the right formula of, oh, I'm going to crack the code of life and look at me. I open that one door and all my dreams roll out and manifest into society.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it works that way, just not in your timing.
Well, it tends to be incremental.
Right, not in your expectation way. You think that that's going to, and when you really think about how you wanting it to show up, or judging against how it is, or expecting, you'll know that it won't go that way.
Yeah. If we knew all of our power, we'd be totally overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
In fact, even from here, it kind of scares us.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we won't amplify it, and doesn't mean that we won't learn to control it. It doesn't mean that we won't improve it. That is what we're doing. Because the more you let it go, like the younger generations are going to be teaching us, right? The farther along we're going to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
The point of it is, it's like, what the fuck are we afraid of? What, like, why would we be afraid of the power that we have that we're afraid to use? How ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? How silly is that? And you're trying to tell me that I'm crazy about that when you're the one afraid of it. Not like you, but others that are still problem solving. In an unresolvable loop that's never going to get satisfied, never going to be satisfied, joyful, happy in their life, judging me for the biggest, or judging you, Craig, right, is the accomplishments of the last 5 years have been the greatest for you, yet from the world's perspective, they wouldn't account for anything
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
very little.
Very little.
As you recover and repair and restart,
Yeah.
so that at some point in the future, you'll talk about it, then people will respect it.
Well, and the other trick too is seeing it as a blessing now.
Mhm. Grateful for what you have with it and those that are with you and around you, right? It's like we amplify. That's when we, because it's interesting, right? We'll get to a point where people will be interested in how we did it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
could give a shit less now, right? They're like, you're a fucking retard. You know,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
hell
Oh,
are you
exactly.
talking about?
You guys are insane.
Yeah.
Doing something for 200 and some days and continuing to believe in the intangible.
Yeah, no, like, huh? There must be something there if you're doing that, because I respect and appreciate you, right? And what you, no, it's just like, no, nope, not even gonna go, not even gonna go there. Got it.
Yeah. 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 But you know, you and I both know we were so ready for this.
Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. And we still want to all do it alone.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. That's one of the hardest. I've noticed one of the most difficult things to convince people of is the whole collaborating thing.
Yeah. And they fight you, that they say they like, there's those that'll fight you to say, no, I am already doing that. I am working. I am collaborating with others.
Right. Right.
And we do, right? It's like there's places we do, but there's also places where we could do it a whole lot better.
Oh yeah.
In all domains, in every domain. And there's so many places I can do it better. That's the journey. But we got to experience what's possible first to be able to improve what we're doing, what we've already done.
Yeah.
And that's drawing out by the demonstration.
Yeah. 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 So many things we've experienced over the last 200 days. are not in the experience of the vast majority of people on the planet. In fact, I'd even dare say that that most of those people haven't even considered the possibility of it.
They ran away and never came back.
Right.
As soon as they were confronted with whatever their pattern was, they ran away and never came back.
Yeah.
And that happened. Not only did that happen in this group, but it happens everywhere to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens to us. Not saying that
Oh,
just because we've
totally.
done 200 days, it's like the word we call it is resistance, right? We're resisting it. Huh? That's every day is an opportunity to move through resistance. That's a whole lot better than fighting the same resistance every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the difference.
A lot more
Inviting new
healthy
resistance every day. Yep.
Yeah.
Moving
It's a lot
through
more
it, letting
healthy
it
to
go.
address it
Yeah. When it's little.
every day when it's small. Yeah, exactly. Because I noticed that too. I'm carrying around a lot less resistance now
Yeah.
than I was 200 days ago.
Yeah. Oh. And
Huge difference there.
yes. Where it used to be just the same fucking resistance that just added up, it accumulated.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing about every time I buy another program, the wound just festers more is kind of the truth of it.
And the programs are missing the equal, missing the united, missing the genius, missing people able to express. That's what's missing. To engage, to participate. Now they call it like they're allowing people to do that, but they're not. And you go by who speaks the most. That's where you start with who's doing the most talking, and is it equal?
Yeah.
And then you measure it the other way, say, well, who's doing the listening? Who's doing the most listening, right? And what we're looking for is the equal. The closer that the speaking and the listening is equal.
Yeah. Yeah, the closer that the speaking and listening is equal. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
That's the measure. Do you look at that intangible
Measure is equal. Wow, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's powerful.
That's what I say. The number one key of awareness, especially like if you're aware of your problem solving, is look for equal. And what it means is you won't find it. So that's the point, to be aware of where it's unequal, where the relationships are unequal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they're unequal, you're either dominating it or you're being dominated by it. So it's either you're speaking all the time or you're listening. And the beauty
Yeah.
is that you can be in either or, and we are all the time.
Yeah.
You can't be equal and say my way's the only way. You can't be equal saying I know it all.
Yeah, those two don't coexist even.
Well, there's definitely resistance between them, right?
Yeah. you know, the I Ching is brilliant. Spent a lot of time in the last few years just pondering and contemplating what's in there. But the whole thing is about the balance of yin and yang energy,
Mhm.
masculine and feminine energy, and being in balance. In balance. And the thing is, that's true internally as well.
I think that's, I don't know where else it would exist.
Well, it exists in nature and in the collective and all that kind of stuff. And in society, there's a huge imbalance toward toward extreme masculine energy has basically been ruling the planet ever since Adam and Eve. And I'm using that term figuratively because that's when the imbalance was first documented. But what's interesting right now, as I perceive it, is the whole planet is like there's part of the planet that's moving in this even more and more extreme masculine energy, and the light or enlightenment or awakening is showing up to counterbalance that. And it's like as if the light that's coming in contains a lot of feminine energy in it in order to rebalance everything. And the intensity of both of those just keeps getting greater and greater and greater.
Yeah. Where our awareness of them is, yeah.
Yeah.
We could assume that it is the same amount, it's just we're becoming aware of the other side of it. Because I know for me, I was really only focused on one side of that.
Yeah. Well,
I
me
could
too.
only see one side of it. But then as a child, I'm sure I experienced the other side of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we all did.
Mhm. Or all of our own unique variations of it is.
Yes.
It's the beauty of using could. Because there's 96% of what we don't know could be something else. Well, Craig, I'm gonna call my dad before he heads off, starts
Oh,
his
cool.
day, and
Yeah.
I can't catch him till later in the day. So really enjoyed working, exploring, expanding hearts, problem solving, educating, meaning pulling out of rather than putting in.
Yeah. Well, it's pull versus push.
Yep.
Right.
Draw out, right?
Draw out. Yeah. In fact, push energy isn't really healthy for us human beings, period.
Not at all.
The use of
That's
force is counterproductive.
It is, and in everything that we do it.
Yeah.
It is not a version of equal.
No, and It only yields a certain kind of results.
Well, and from a certain standard, you say that works. From a certain orientation, right? To get things, to own resources, to have tangibles, it works that way.
Yeah,
But it's not sustainable.
right. Because
Nor does it.
whatever you're doing that way depletes.
That's right. And it's never can really include true gratitude,
True. Yeah.
which is yes and.
Which is yes and. Yeah. Which is I already have. There's more inside what I already have.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, enjoy your wholeness today, my man.
Yeah, well, you too.
I will.
Love you, Jesse.
Love you too, Craig.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you, Craig. And
Yeah, revel in that for about 24 hours.
yeah. Yes, thank you. You too.
Okay.
And until tomorrow.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.